I have been a Pokemon fan for pretty much as long as I can remember, and it was definitely a big part of my childhood. However, there were a couple times where the games did make you wonder, are these games really designed for kids? Here are 5 times the games were not for kids. It may have been beaten to death, but this list will be incomplete if I didn't talk about it, so Lavender Town. Most of the legends about this place are obviously fake. There were definitely no children who committed suicide upon hearing the music, but even so, this place just screams death. From the creepy music to the old ladies begging for blood? Not to mention the ghost of a Marowak who was killed by Team Rocket and that won't let you pass until you defeat her so she can pass on to the afterlife. That's surprisingly deep, and it really does make you wonder if at least the first games really were designed for kids. For the most part, Pokemon Gold and Silver were happy games. Of course, there is that part where Team Rocket cuts off Slowpoke tails so they can sell them for money, but for the most part, these games were not scary like the originals were. Notice how I'm saying for the most part. Because there is one part in the games where Team Rocket takes over the radio tower in Goldenrod City, and most people playing this game wouldn't even notice this, but if you take out your radio at this moment, in case you were wondering what nightmares sounded like. Okay, this is making me uncomfortable. Stop it! Next up is the thrifty Megamart from the most recent entries in the series, Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I guess also Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Now this place is already scary with the glitchy music and the moving conveyor belts, but it gets worse. Once you get to a little room in the back of the store, the Pokefinder, which is a Pokemon camera, so I don't know why they didn't just call it a Pokemon camera. The Pokefinder comes up automatically. Then you can look at a bunch of different pictures of Pikachu, but once you turn around, Mimikyu. You'll start a battle with Totem Pokemon Mimikyu. Now, while Mimikyu itself is already pretty scary, what's worse is that after you defeat it and you go back outside, Acerola will be there and she will tell you there is no room in the back of the building. And sure enough, when you go back inside, the room has simply vanished. Next up, we go to Eterna Forest. And deep in Eterna Forest lies an old and creepy mansion that's not owned by Luigi. Old Chateau. I'm sorry, my English is lacking here a little. Anyway, this is the only place across all games where I ever got so scared that I ran away, and it only saved when I got back to Eterna City. Looking back at it, I also could have just turned off my DS. But that's not the point. The point is that I was really scared. Why, you may ask? What made this place scarier than, in my opinion, even Lavender Town? Well, while at first this chateau may seem empty and abandoned, it's not. If you are very lucky or you have a lot of time, like I used to have when I was a kid, you may be able to spot the ghosts of a butler in the dining room and a small girl in the rooms upstairs. It may sound weird and stupid, but what I found so scary about those is that their feet don't move, and that looks really unnatural. Also, in one of the bins you can find an antidote, which leads to the theory that these people were poisoned. Good job, Game Freak, that's definitely something you should put in a kid's game. And then we get to my favorite one. In Pokemon Black and White, once you get the Marvelous Bridge, you'll find a girl that's standing on the edge of the bridge. But once you approach her, she just disappears. There is also an old woman who will tell you a story about a girl who used to live here with an Abra, but that was before the bridge was built. Anyway, this story kind of continued in Pokemon Black and White too, actually, but it also got much worse. In these games you can find her in the strange house. There the girl explains how she fell into an endless nightmare, which if you know anything about Pokemon, you'll know that this was probably caused by Darkrai. The dialogue in this place is about as dark as Pokemon has ever gone, suggesting that Darkrai was pretending to be her father in order to convince her she didn't need a lunar wing. While in fact the only thing that could save her from that endless nightmare was a lunar wing from Cresselia. But because Darkrai was able to convince her she didn't need it, the lunar wing came too late and she died. And the reason she haunted Marvelous Bridge was because she wanted to return the lunar wing to Cresselia, because she knew it couldn't save her anymore. You know, because she was dead. Yeah, good luck going to sleep after this video. So these were my 5 moments in the Pokemon games that were definitely not intended for kids. Are there any I've missed? Like ghost girls telling you, "No, you're not the one. I am your father." Anyway, let me know it in the comment section. And I will see you back next time. Bye.